These attacking behaviors happen to black people all the time and also to other non-white people. These people are always looking for an opportunity to be white, looking for trouble, and they often select attacking people as the solution for being reminded that they are not white. The second scenario is about individuals attacking to defend being white. When I went to my local garage to collect my car after the repair of a damaged windshield mirror, I saw a receptionist I had dealt with before who I knew had issues. Because of this, I didn't want to be served by her. So I stood back and waited to make sure one of the other receptionists became available. Unfortunately, it was her who finished first, and she also noticed I was waiting. Upon seeing me, her face changed. I had previously seen her acting normally whilst I was waiting. But on seeing me, she frowned in annoyance. I explained why I was at the garage, and she immediately started responding to me in a condescending manner. I tried to ignore this foolishness. When I was collecting my car, I noticed that they had replaced the wrong wind mirror, leaving the damaged one in place. I went back inside to explain this to the receptionist. She asked if I could show her the problem and started getting extremely condescending. As I showed her the issue and tried to explain, her tone and behavior was as though she wanted to make it clear to me that she was in charge of things, that she knew better than me what needed to be fixed. Even before I had started describing what was wrong, she started asking me obvious questions about my car. Like, what make and model was it? When had I put it in for repair? What exactly was the problem? Etc. Not only were these questions nonsensical, because they could be easily answered from reading my booking details, she was not even waiting for my answers before asking the next foolish question. I asked her to actually let me talk and explain the problem to her, rather than talking over me, which she did for about 1 minute only. We walked back to the reception and she went into the back office, presumably to handle the issue. Whilst I was waiting, I thought that this was taking a considerable amount of time, so I found another receptionist. I asked if they could check why the first receptionist was delayed and described to them the problem with the wind mirror. As we finished talking, the woman then came back again and quickly started almost shouting at me. Our words were blending into each other so much that I couldn't understand her. I asked her to stop speaking to me like that, which had no effect, until I apologized for how I spoke to the other receptionist about the repair failure. This was strange to me, because she only calmed down when I admitted fault, when I hadn't actually done anything wrong, and to something that also had nothing to do with her. I called my husband to explain what had happened with the repair. He noticed I was irritated about something, but I told him not to worry and that I will explain later because I needed to get on with what I was doing that afternoon. My husband was quite upset because this was not the first time that they had failed to manage a repair properly. He said I should just ask the manager over and he would talk to him. As he was complaining to the manager, the receptionist was visibly sneering at her manager, having to apologize to my husband. We could both hear the conversation, and it was obvious that she wanted to make it clear to me that not only did she not respect me, she felt disdain for me, for getting my husband to complain to her manager about a genuine issue. I did not bother to raise this, and once the manager had accepted their fault with the repair, I then left. After my husband and I had discussed the entire situation that evening, we wrote a letter to the head office of the firm, complaining about the garage management failures, this woman's repeated bad behavior, explaining that she should be keeping her prejudices out of the workplace, and declaring that they would be legally responsible if the firm failed to act on our complaint. Later, when I went back to collect my car again, the manager was the one who received me, and he was extremely polite, not particularly apologetic, but just professional. I think this situation is a good example of someone who was unable to hold in their desire to dominate, to be treated as superior to me, and then felt slighted when I refused to accept the position that they wanted to put me in. She felt compelled to let me know that she was not less than me, or even equal. As I said before, this was not the first time that this person had acted that way. It was the same even on the first time she had to serve me. It was so important to her to display all this crazy, unprofessional behavior just to feed her self-esteem and build a false sense of superiority. So I say to myself, if she needed to do all that to a person that she did not know, she was trying to prove to herself that she was somehow worthy, not less than me. But I had already concluded that she was not worthy at all. Another example is when my husband took me out for my birthday to a very famous traditional restaurant in London that is run by an internationally famous TV chef. The senior waiter who was serving me had been quite uncomfortable with us during the meal, but was mostly handling it. The cake that my husband had ordered was a good surprise because I didn't expect it at all. As the cake was served though, the waiter shouted at me, ordering me to blow the candle out now. I was shocked by this. And as the waiter left, I was quite upset at this insult, which had spoiled my birthday surprise. My husband complained to the manager. The waiter was brought to the table to apologize. And the manager also apologized profusely, begging us to accept our wine for free as an apology, telling the waiter in our presence that this was going to be coming out of his pay. These attacking behaviors happen to black people all the time and also to other non-white people. These people are always looking for an opportunity to be white, looking for trouble, and they often select attacking people as the solution for being reminded that they are not white. Sometimes they will not just exploit, but genuinely create opportunities to be white. They will pretend to be friendly, but they are actually trying to create circumstances where they can demonstrate to themselves that you are less than them. Usually, sarcasm and condescension. And when these opportunities are undone by you, they get very discombobulated. It could be that you have directly refuted them, spotted their deceit and showed your distrust, or countered their sarcastic comments with one of your own. Regardless of how you dismantle their attempt to be white, they will either get deeply confused at their failure or just respond with insults, usually the racist ones. But black people and non-white people need to remain aware of what this foolish behavior really is. An insecure person trying to put someone else down to feel better. You know that racism is why they are comfortable with doing this. But don't waste your time calling it that, because they are so practiced at refuting this accusation of their intent. Intent is what someone is thinking, and you can never prove or disprove what is in someone else's head. Instead, call out the actual behavior, just as you would with anyone else. Bad intentions can be refuted, but bad behaviors cannot. Hello everyone. Thank you for watching part 3 of my series on whiteness. Please support Nowogh Talks by hitting the like button and subscribing. Hit the notification button below and also leave a comment so that we can continue the discussion. Look out for part 4, where I'll be talking about my experiences of a group of white people defending a white person who has failed to be white. I will also be talking in detail about microaggressions and where the abnormal crazy behavior comes from.